Good morning, everyone. When someone truly values you, they make an effort to stay connected, no matter how busy life gets. They call, they text, they check in just to see how you're doing. They remember important dates and details that matter to you, because they want to be part of your life in a meaningful way. On the other hand, people who don't care about you simply don't put in that effort. Their communication is sporadic, often only when it's convenient for them, or when they need something. They might go days, weeks, or even months without reaching out, and when they do, it often feels forced or shallow. You might find yourself always initiating contact, always the one reaching out to keep the relationship alive. Over time, this imbalance becomes exhausting, because it feels like you're carrying the entire relationship on your shoulder. These are the people who always have an excuse. They're busy with work, they forgot, they meant to call but didn't. And while life can get hectic for everyone, consistent disregard for staying in touch reveals where you stand on their priority list. It's not about the occasional lapse in communication, it's about the pattern. When you care about someone, you show it. It doesn't always require grand gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as a quick message to say, "I was thinking of you," or a phone call to check in after a tough day. People who care find a way to show up, even in small ways. What's especially hurtful about this behavior is that it can make you question your worth. You might wonder if you're asking too much or being too needy, but the truth is you're asking for basic respect and rest. A healthy relationship is a two-way street where both people invest time, energy, and care. When someone consistently fails to invest in you, it's a clear sign they don't value the relationship as you do. Another aspect of this behavior is how they respond when you try to express your needs. If you bring up the fact that you're always the one initiating, they might deflect, make excuses, or even get defensive. They might say, "You know I'm bad at keeping in touch," or "You're overreacting." But relationships thrive on mutual effort, and if someone consistently fails to show up, their excuses start to sound like empty words. It's important to remember that you deserve relationships where the effort is mutual. You shouldn't have to chase after someone to get their attention, or beg for scraps of their time. You deserve to be with people who make you feel seen, valued, and appreciated. If you find yourself always the one reaching out, always the one keeping the connection alive, it might be time to step back and reassess the relationship. Because at the end of the day, people make time for what's important to them, and if someone doesn't make time for you, they're telling you exactly where you stand. So pay attention to who makes an effort to stay connected and who doesn't. It's one of the clearest indicators of who truly cares about you and who doesn't. And while it might hurt to accept that some people don't value you the way you value them, it's better to know the truth than to keep investing your time and heart in someone who simply doesn't care. When someone doesn't care about you, they often show it through emotional distance. It's not just about how often they call or text. It's about the quality of the connection when they do. They might listen with half an ear, nod along without really hearing you, or respond with generic answers that make you feel like you're talking to a wall. You might notice that when you share something important, whether it's a triumph or a struggle, they seem uninterested or distracted, as though your life doesn't affect them. It can feel like you're shouting into a void, desperate for a real response that never comes. Emotionally distant people create an invisible wall between themselves and you. They don't ask follow-up questions, they don't seem to remember important details you've shared, and they rarely offer comfort or empathy when you're hurt. Instead, conversations stay surface level, safe and distant. It's as though they're unwilling or unable to open up their heart or make space for yours. This distance leaves you feeling alone, even in their presence. You start to doubt yourself, wondering if you're boring or too emotional or too needy. But the truth is that emotional closeness is a cornerstone of any caring relationship. When someone truly cares, they make you feel heard, seen, and understood. One of the hardest things about this behavior is that it can make you question the entire relationship. You might find yourself rationalizing their emotional distance by saying things like, "They've had a tough life," or "They're just not good at talking about feelings." And while it's true that some people struggle with vulnerability, there's a difference between someone who's trying and someone who simply doesn't care enough to try. People who care show up in the moments that matter. They ask about your day, they celebrate your joys, they stand by you in your struggles. Their presence feels comforting and warm, like a safe place you can return to again and again. If someone is always emotionally unavailable, if they brush off your concerns, change the subject when things get too personal, or consistently fail to empathize with your feelings, it's a sign they're not invested in the relationship. It's also a sign that they're not willing to do the emotional work that real relationships require. You deserve someone who is willing to meet you halfway, who wants to know what's on your mind and in your heart, and who makes an effort to bridge the distance between you. Sometimes emotionally distant people will blame you for the lack of connection. They'll say you're too sensitive or that you expect too much. But emotional intimacy is not too much to ask for. It's the foundation of a healthy relationship. If they refuse to give it, or worse, make you feel guilty for needing it, it's a clear sign that they don't value you the way you deserve to be valued. Don't let yourself be starved of emotional closeness. Recognize that you deserve to be with people who make you feel seen and heard, who care enough to invest in you emotionally, and who make the effort to build a bridge to your heart rather than a wall. If you're always on the outside looking in, it's time to reassess whether this is a relationship worth continuing. Because at the end of the day, people who care show it with both words and actions, and they make you feel like you matter. One of the clearest signs that someone doesn't care about you is their repeated disregard for your boundaries. Boundaries are the lines you draw to protect your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. They're not about controlling other people. They're about defining what is acceptable to you and what isn't. When someone consistently crosses those lines, it shows a fundamental lack of respect and a clear sign they're not invested in your well-being. People who don't care about you might push your limits in small, subtle ways. They might show up unannounced when you've asked for space. They might pressure you to do things you're uncomfortable with, like sharing secrets or lending money, despite your clear hesitation. They might dismiss your feelings or needs as unimportant or overreactive. Over time, this repeated disregard can leave you feeling small, unworthy, and powerless. At first, you might try to explain your boundaries calmly, hoping they'll understand. But someone who doesn't care will either ignore your words or react defensively, making you feel guilty for even having boundaries in the first place. They might accuse you of being too sensitive or difficult, shifting the blame onto you. They'll make you question whether your boundaries are valid, or if you're just asking for too much. But the truth is, healthy relationships are built on mutual respect. When someone respects you, they honor your boundaries because they value your comfort and trust. Another way they might cross boundaries is by making decisions for you without your consent. They might assume they know what's best for you or dismiss your choices as wrong or irrelevant. This kind of controlling behavior can feel like a direct assault on your autonomy. It's as if your voice doesn't matter, as if your needs and preferences are obstacles to their own desires. This dynamic is especially harmful because it erodes your sense of self-worth and leaves you feeling like a spectator in your own life. Sometimes disrespecting boundaries doesn't look aggressive. It might show up as small jokes at your expense, or teasing that crosses the line. They might touch you in ways you don't like or share private information about you without your consent. These behaviors might seem minor in isolation, but together they paint a picture of someone who doesn't respect your dignity. It's important to recognize that consistent disrespect for your boundaries is a red flag that should never be ignored. You deserve relationships where your boundaries are heard and honored. You deserve to feel safe, respected, and valued. If someone can't respect your boundaries, it's a sign they don't truly care about you, and it might be time to step back and protect your peace. One of the most telling signs that someone doesn't care about you is when they only reach out when they need something. It's as if you're a convenience to them, a tool to be used rather than a person to be cherished. These are the people who pop up out of nowhere, with requests, favors, or complaints, but disappear the moment you need a shoulder to lean on. At first, it might seem like they're just busy or have a lot going on, but over time a pattern emerges that's hard to ignore. Imagine that friend who only texts when they're moving apartments, the cousin who calls only when they need a loan, or the coworker who suddenly remembers you exist when they need a favor at work. They might sugarcoat their requests with friendly small talk, but the conversation always circles back to what they need. You might think, maybe they're just having a tough time, but when their needs are consistently prioritized over yours, and when they vanish after getting what they want, it's a sign they don't care enough to invest in you as a person. This kind of transactional relationship can be exhausting because it leaves you feeling used and unappreciated. You might try to convince yourself that helping them is just being kind, but deep down you know that if the tables were turned, they probably wouldn't be there for you. The imbalance in give and take reveals the truth. They're not invested in a mutual relationship, only in what they can extract from you. Even worse, they often fail to acknowledge or appreciate your effort. After you help them, there's no real gratitude or reciprocation, just silence until the next time they need something. Your time, energy, and resources become their safety net, and they take it for granted. It's not that helping others is wrong, it's that helping someone who consistently takes without giving back drains your emotional resources and leaves you feeling empty. Sometimes people like this will try to keep you hooked by offering occasional crumbs of attention, giving you just enough so you don't walk away entirely. But when you step back and look at the relationship as a whole, it's clear that you're an afterthought, a pit stop for their needs rather than a valued part of their life. It can be a painful realization, but it's better to see the truth than to keep investing in someone who doesn't truly care about you. Healthy relationships are built on mutual support, where both people show up for each other, not just when it's convenient, but consistent. When someone only reaches out when they need something, it's a sign they don't see you as an equal partner, but rather as a resource. You deserve better than that. You deserve relationships where people appreciate you for who you are, not just for what you can do for them. Don't let yourself be reduced to a convenience in someone else's life. Recognize the pattern, set boundaries, and invest your energy in relationships that are balanced, genuine, and reciprocal. Another sign that someone doesn't care about you is their inability or unwillingness to celebrate your wins. People who truly care about you are genuinely happy when good things happen in your life. They cheer you on, lift you up, and sharing your joy. But those who don't care often react with indifference, jealousy, or even subtle sabotage. They might offer a half-hearted, "That's great," followed by a quick subject change, or they might downplay your achievement by saying, "Well, it's not that big of a deal." Over time, this lack of enthusiasm can make you feel small and unsupported. Celebrating someone's wins is about more than just clapping when things go well. It's about sharing in their happiness because you genuinely care about their well-being. When someone is happy for you, their excitement is contagious, and it strengthens the bond between you. But when someone can't muster that joy, when they act annoyed, threatened, or dismissive, it's a sign they're not invested in your happiness. Their focus is on themselves, and they see your success as a threat to their own sense of worth or status. Sometimes people who don't care might even try to overshadow your accomplishment. You share good news, and they immediately bring up their own achievements or problems, turning the conversation back to themselves. It's as if they can't stand the spotlight being on you even for a moment. This self-centered behavior reveals that they're not truly invested in celebrating your growth or supporting your dreams. Instead, they're more concerned with maintaining their own sense of importance. It can be incredibly disheartening to experience this, especially from people you thought you could rely on. Their lack of enthusiasm might make you question whether your accomplishments are worth celebrating at all. You might even start to downplay your own successes to avoid making them uncomfortable. But the truth is that you deserve to be celebrated, and you deserve to have people in your life who are genuinely happy for you. People who will dance with you in your victories as well as hold your hand in your struggle. Don't settle for relationships where your achievements are met with jealousy or indifference. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who see your success as a reason to cheer, not compete. Because the people who celebrate your wins are the ones who truly care about you. Another behavior of people who don't care about you is their tendency to constantly criticize or undermine you. Constructive criticism, offered with kindness and respect, is healthy and helps us grow. But constant negativity, belittling remarks, or backhanded compliments are signs of someone who doesn't have your best interests at heart. These people might disguise their criticism as just being honest or helping you improve, but their words often sting more than they help. When someone consistently points out your flaws, mocks your dreams, or makes you feel like you're never good enough, it's a sign they don't genuinely care about your well-being. Their goal is often to keep you small, to diminish your confidence, so you don't outgrow the relationship. This behavior can erode your self-esteem and make you question your worth, especially if it comes from someone you care about deeply. What makes this behavior particularly insidious is that it often comes with a smile or a laugh, making it easy to brush off at first. They might say things like, "I'm just joking," or "Don't be so sensitive." But over time, these little digs add up. They start to shape the way you see yourself, and you begin to internalize their negativity as true. It's important to recognize that constant criticism is not a sign of love. It's a sign of disrespect. People who care about you build you up. They help you see your strengths and encourage you to reach your full potential. They might offer feedback, but it's delivered with compassion and a genuine desire to see you thrive. People who don't care tear you down to make themselves feel better, or to keep you under their control. Don't let anyone make you feel small or unworthy. You deserve relationships where you're valued, supported, and encouraged. If someone's words consistently make you doubt yourself or feel less than, it's time to question whether they truly care about you at all. Remember, love and respect go hand in hand. You deserve both. The final behavior that reveals someone doesn't care about you is their unreliability and self-centeredness. People who don't care often make promises they don't keep. They say they'll call, but they don't. They promise to be there for you, but they vanish when you need them most. Their words are filled with good intentions, but their actions consistently fall short. Unreliable people leave you feeling like you're constantly standing on shaky ground. You can't count on them, and that uncertainty can be incredibly stressful. It forces you to carry the emotional weight of the relationship, always wondering if they'll let you down again. Their lack of follow-through shows a lack of respect for your time and feelings. When someone values you, they show up when they say they will, and they honor their commitment. Paired with this unreliability is a deep sense of self-centeredness. Conversations with them often revolve around their problems, their needs, and their victories. Your feelings, experiences, and achievements are secondary if they're acknowledged at all. It's as if the entire relationship is a stage for their life story, and you're just a supporting character. This self-centeredness leaves you feeling unheard and unseen. You might try to share something important only to have them steer the conversation back to themselves. Their needs always take priority, and your own often go unmet. Over time, this imbalance can make you feel like your presence in their life is conditional, valuable only when it serves their interests. You deserve relationships that are reciprocal, where both people care for and support each other. You deserve to be heard, to be seen, and to have your needs met, just as much as anyone else's. Don't settle for unreliable, self-centered people who only see you as a means to an end. Recognize their behavior for what it is, a clear sign that they don't care about you, and free yourself to find relationships that are rooted in mutual respect, love, and trust. In the end, the way people treat you speaks louder than any words they might say. These 8 behaviors reveal a painful but necessary truth. Not everyone who's in your life actually cares about you. Recognizing these patterns isn't about judging others harshly. It's about protecting your own heart and energy. You deserve to be surrounded by people who respect your boundaries, celebrate your victories, support you through your struggles, and make the effort to stay connected. Remember, you are worthy of love, respect, and genuine care. Don't settle for relationships that drain you or make you feel small. You have the power to choose the people you allow into your life, and it's okay to walk away from those who show you time and time again that they don't care. Choose to invest your time and heart in those who lift you up, bring out your best, and stand by you no matter what. Because at the end of the day, you deserve nothing less.